I'm here. Mom's here. Weston? Oh, Weston? Rashad?
Here.
Aaron? Wow. Taylor Ward? Here. Vati? Haley Finch? Okay. Lainey? Here. Brianna? Elliot? Brett Cooper?
Here.
Samuel Cutoff?
Here.
Sasha Hans?
Foxy.
Sabrine Hussein? Sorry guys, hang on. Caroline Cohen? Here. Sophia Kopensteiner? Here. Caroline Luria? Proxy. Pranjal Sharitha?
Yeah.
Was that closer?
Yeah.
Okay. Ethan Bonzon? Here? Was that a chewing here? Yeah, okay. Kayla Rogers? Here. Monty Muniz? Should be a proxy. No proxy. Oh. Okay. Alvin Albee?
Here.
Sorry, hold please. All right, Ryan Clements?
Here.
Jane Daniel? Here. Benjamin Dickinson?
Here.
Baxter Keith? Casey Montgomery? Here. Lane Ogle? Here. Tanner Wright?
Here.
Yeah. Kevin Williams? Arthur Jenkins? Chenzing Wan? Philip Michael Collins? Brian Leon? Sarah Matthews? Here. Sophia Fisher? Here. Jay McCormick?
Here.
Okay, thanks guys.
I didn't say my name.
Who?
Lisa.
Oh. Oh, I'm sorry, I totally skipped you.
You're good.
But you're here, gotcha.
So thank you everyone for coming to the SGA dinner tonight. As you saw from the agenda, we're going to take up until about 6:40 to have a conversation with our lovely partners team. Thank you all for being here. So we're going to the conversation that we'll have with them is just kind of learning more of like what they do here at Center, asking them questions, giving them ideas and suggestions, really just a conversation. And then after that, we will move to the second part of the agenda, which is voting to support or reject the Senate bill from the AL. So then we'll do officer reports and then adjourn. I'm trying to get things out of here fairly early tonight. But thank you all for coming. You can go ahead and start with the conversation.
I'll start, I guess. Excuse me. Hi, my name is Tony. I'm General Manager of United Services. With me I have Cameron, who's our sous chef, lead sous chef. Samantha, who's our catering director, and also Kim Cole, who's our resident manager. We're very happy to be here. We have Tony Gauze, who's our retail director, unfortunately fell ill. He had to go home for the day. And Chef is on his way back home to Erie for the weekend. So he's stuck with us. But I'm very happy to be here. We all are. And we hope we can get some constructive suggestions and comments and criticism if you have it. We're an open book and we'll be happy to talk to anyone that has something to say. Who's first? Hi.
I think your labeling is wrong on some of the, I don't know if you all make like the to-go meals for the, fridges around campus.
Yeah.
But like some of them are labeled as like allergy friendly and then like on the like ingredients label it like directly contradicts it. So just like to be safe.
Interesting. Is that on the goes you're talking about,
Yeah.
like in Hall of Fame and out here out front?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll be honest with you, and you're absolutely right. We do have our challenges when it comes to labeling. We try to stay on top of it. Something as simple as the dressings in the servery, sometimes we mess that up too, but we're we're trying to get into regimen, we're getting, making sure that that's done correctly. Excuse me, it also has a lot to do with our training of our team members, which we are currently working on.
Okay.
But thank you for bringing that up. Hi,
Thank you for the green minutes.
you're very welcome. I know that was I know, and it took me a little longer, blame it on supply chain, but we did get them in, so I appreciate that.
As fast as they come in is as fast as they go.
Yeah. Hi.
Okay, I don't know if this has anything to do with the labeling issue, but I have heard a lot of complaints about people feeling ill after eating, and I don't know if that has anything to do with food or if it's just they're not used to kind of this like college food stuff like that. But I was wondering if that's anything.
Well, I mean, it could be. I mean, you know, I get an upset stomach when I have too many wings. I'll be honest with you, especially when they're hot. But it very well could be, and we definitely couldn't keep that.
So I'm directly a part of like making sure that the labels are proper. I have noticed with my supervisors as of late, I've had to correct them a little more. They're just like, they got comfortable with it at the beginning, they thought they knew what was in everything, and then they just kind of stopped coming to us about it. And then that in turn, like, you know, like they don't know if something's like gluten-free or something has dairy in it, so we're trying to correct that as we go. It's just a matter of communication with us directly, making sure that they're asking us like, hey, does this have any allergens in it, basically.
And also what we do too is, and Chef Cameron does this quite a bit, is we have huddles. Usually at 10:30 in the morning for lunch, and then we have one in the afternoon. Things like that is discussed also. Because we like to have our team members out on the line who are talking to you know about all this stuff, so we find that to be very helpful too. Thank you. Hi.
Also with the labels, so I have a peanut allergy, and definitely in some of the desserts, they aren't marked with peanuts, and I have had an allergic reaction at one point because it wasn't marked properly.
It wasn't marked with peanut?
Yeah, and there's no mentioning on the actual naming of it that it had any nuts in it.
Okay.
So,
Something you need to basic background, like
I mean, originally, I'll be honest with you, when I originally opened up Center College for Parkhurst, I wanted to go peanut-free in dining, 100%. Well, apparently, we got a lot of feedback from other students saying that they didn't want to do that. So, to answer your question, first of all, I apologize that you had to go through that. That's not fun. But we have to, again, we're training our supervisors who make the signs to talk to the baker directly. And that's Holly, and she does a great job baking. But they need to communicate with her also. A lot of the label concerns are obviously you can see is all communicated. That's what we're trying to break down is the communication.
I don't know if it was like a label issue or if it was like cross-contamination issue.
I would assume it'd probably be a label issue at that point, because like I said, I've noticed a lot of things that I've had to correct on my own. So they're probably just not going directly to the baker like they should be, and just assuming that everything is normal, which obviously it's not if you're having a reaction to it.
And it's difficult, I'm sorry, I'm just one more second. It's difficult, and this is not to come up with excuses, it's a way to maybe talk to everyone and see what they think, but we have one kitchen, and it's very difficult to try to keep everything separate. When it comes to cross-contamination, is what I'm talking about, you know, it's hard to do. That's why we always use the word friendly, we don't use the word free, because it really isn't free, I mean, it could be anything. Are you airborne by any chance?
I'm not.
No, okay. So that has a lot to do with it as far as the limited space we have in preparing everything. So cross-contamination, yes, it could happen, absolutely, knowing that we have one kitchen to prepare everything. But we try to control it as best we can when it comes to things like that, especially the nuts. That's a dear heart in mind as far as nut-free allergies, because I've seen what can happen and I don't particularly like it. So we try to control it as best we can.
This is just like a suggestion in terms of like the dessert section. It is kind of loose, you know, like the signs can get moved, the things can get, like, plates can get switched
Sure.
and stuff. So maybe just like making that more like a solidified area with sections or something. I don't know.
No, that's a good also, we thought about, you know, when you walk in the survey on the left-hand side, when you walk in the survey on the right-hand side, where the apples and fruit is and the crates and stuff, we were thinking of making that completely, allergen-friendly.
Yeah.
With desserts there and stuff, so we're keeping it separate from the other desserts. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So we're
I understand her point too. She's saying like the sign, the little PIDs get moved around so easily.
We need to secure those.
They need like a more like secure placement, so they're not like, oh, I accidentally bumped into it, now it's over here, it's on these cookies or something like that.
That's a good idea, yeah. Hmm?
There again, it's education on making sure that the cookie, you know, if it's not a peanut butter cookie in that area,
Right.
it's education.
Right. Thank you.
So,
Can we get an ETA update on the, like, the cantina style thing that's gonna be?
Sure, what would you like to know? When it's open?
Yeah, what's progress?
Okay, well, right now, scheduled date is on or around the end of January, when that'll be up and running. We're definitely getting, I don't know if you looked at it, if you peeked in or not, but it's completely demoed out right now, everything's taken out. The new fountain machine has been ordered, to go in there, and all the equipment, most of the equipment is on site, we're just waiting for the rest of it to come in December. So our goal is the end of January, that'll be up and running. Okay, thank you for asking that. Also, you guys noticed that we got a new Pepsi machine, across the way here, and, there's a couple of hiccups with it, and I apologize, because I've been rushing to get that in for you guys. But the flavor shots will be in until Wednesday, so we'll have the flavor shots come in, and also the actual ice machine dispenser. Unfortunately, it's a brand new machine, but that's not working. But, again, Wednesday, hopefully that'll be getting working too. We do have the, sweet tea machine available, but the unsweetened needs to be repaired also. So, we're getting there. We really, really are getting there. And there is a hot chocolate machine coming. I'm just waiting. There you go. I'm just waiting for that to get delivered so we can get it hooked up.
Yeah, I just wanna say like, thank you for adding tea and hot chocolate, sounds like it's coming.
You're very welcome.
Cause yeah, I was really wanting some tea and then it just showed up. Yeah.
You got it. We are working on the one side, which is the unsweetened. It has to be, a new, pump's gotta be installed. We'll hopefully take care of that on Wednesday. But the sweet tea is working. Yes, sir.
I just want to make sure I'm not like going crazy, but my friend's been talking about it. Is the pizza crust different like every other day or like?
we have one recipe for it. We have 4 different people, myself included, that make the pizza dough, and I've been personally trying to train the one because is it like kind of more on the dense side? Would you say?
I don't really. All I'll say is the pizza that you order from the late night, like every now and then the pizza in normal town will taste like that, which is very good.
Okay.
And then sometimes it won't, or then like every now and then it'll be just like square.
There's a lot of different things that go into that pizza dough. The actual making of the dough to start, putting too much flour in or too much liquid in can make it react in different ways, and you'll either have like a really dense, hard pizza, like there's too much flour in it, or it'll just be like really flat and thin if there's too much water in it. The other thing with that is the amount of time that it actually proofs. I'm trying to get them all to at least pull it out. Generally, it's supposed to proof for about like an hour or so, like an hour to 2 hours. Like just let it sit out, get like room temperature. If it doesn't do that, it also will be a little more on the dense side too. It has to properly rise, so when we go to stretch it, you know what I mean? So that's another thing that we're trying to work on right now is with our pizza people. We have a pretty good crew over there, but there's still 1 or 2 that, you know, just need that extra guidance in making that dough properly.
So we're getting there to get it working system for you. Promise.
We do have one standard recipe that they're supposed to follow.
We do. Thank you, sir. Yes?
I wanted to say thank you for the hot chocolate. And then second, does the new machine have just plain sparkling water? Do you know?
The new,
It has soda water.
The new,
Pepsi machine?
the new machine over there.
Yeah,
It
that's
has-
sparkling water,
Does
yeah.
it have plain sparkling water?
I think so, doesn't
Okay.
it?
I think it's just.
It's just like
Seltzer water?
So,
Seltzer
okay.
water, yeah.
Thank you.
In addition to, what's gonna be over in that station too, is gonna be, infused waters of different flavors. So lemon, maybe citrus, or something that we have, displayed over there also.
Awesome, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Are there any like long-term or like even short-term plans other than like the ones you already described for like the main eateries? Like, are you gonna change the layout or anything, or is that like staying the same, or
Yes.
adding any more lines or anything like that?
Right, but we are in the process now of renovating the dining room, yes. Excuse me, to answer your question. So we are gonna, fix it up a little bit. At the very least, we can do facelifts and things like that, to make it a little bit more, inviting, if you will. The lines in the room, and we know that our footprint at Surgery is smaller than it should be. It should be a little bit bigger, we know that. But part of the renovations, or part of the plans that we're talking about is, changing things around the stations to help with the traffic flow. So to answer your question, yes, there is plans to do that for over the summer. So in September, when we come back, or when you guys come back, I'll be here. But there is plans to do that.
I also just want to say thank you for Cowan's Giving. That was my first one. It was actually, it was really good.
You guys enjoy it?
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. We, well, I, for one, we're a little nervous about that, because it is our first one, and wanted to make sure that it lived up to your past expectations, and I'm glad it did. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, so this is kind of like a general concern that I want to raise a little bit, for the students who come in at 1:40. Most of the time when you come in, many of your lines are already cleaning up their things, and if I'm not mistaken, like, are they supposed to serve all the way through to?
They are
and then-
supposed to serve all the way through.
And then start cleaning up, or are they allowed to start cleaning up earlier? And
No,
then-
they are supposed to be fully stocked until 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock is when they're supposed to start cleaning and breaking them out.
Okay.
So now that we know that's been an issue, we can get that addressed, make sure our line servers are keeping the line full all the way through.
And what typically happens to that is around 1:40 to 1:45, we have to give our employees at least a 10-minute break.
Right.
So they will turn all the utensils around and let it be self-served, but there really is no reason for it to be empty.
We'll just have to try to schedule so at least we have one line server on at all times.
Well, I have something I'd like to say too. This is our, we just took over in June, right? This is our first semester. And I gotta honestly say that, the student body has been terrific. You guys have been absolutely fantastic. You work with us, you're appreciative, you see the changes we try to make. We love working with you guys. If there's something that you don't see, you let us know immediately, and we'd like to take care of it immediately. Because let's face it, you're here for your studies, not to worry about where your next meal's coming from. So that's what we want to do. And I just want you to know that it's been a real pleasure. I've been at a lot of different accounts with Parkhurst and opening up different accounts, and some of them more challenging than others. But here's been a real super pleasure. It really has. You guys, you all deserve a round of applause for yourself, because you really did make our job as a contractor, make our job to come in and feel wanted, and turn around and try to do the best job that we can for you. Cameron's been with the company for a while. Kim has been, joined us in June. Santa's been with the company for 10 years. So it's just like when we come here, we don't know what to expect. We don't know you guys' battle, right? I've never set foot in the state of Kentucky before. And frankly, I'm falling in love with that. I love it here. But anyway, I just wanted to take a minute and thank all of you for all your support and help in this transition. Thank you.
I'll definitely say the same thing. I came from a property in Pennsylvania before I came down here, and it's like night and day. Like, you guys are very, very pleasant. Southern hospitality is definitely a thing, okay? It's definitely a thing. So we do appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yes.
All right, I don't know if this is picky, it kind of is, but every morning there's eggs, right? And if they're set out for a little bit too long, they get like that yellow crust on it, and I can't eat it. It is like inedible, and it just like is not good.
Are you talking about the scrambled eggs on
Yeah.
pork?
So is there a way that you guys can like rotate through those, or like turn down the heat setting on those a bit? Because like, it's just, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, there is. There absolutely is. when the breakfast cook comes in the morning, she turns around and just makes all the food and puts it all out, ready by 6 o'clock. We don't get too much business at 6 o'clock in the morning, so Cameron's working on the breakfast cook to try to lower that initial setup a little lower, so you don't have that kind of problem before.
Basically like a make more, or make less more often, you know?
Right, right, which we are gonna do, because, you know what, to be honest with you, I noticed that too. And it kind of turns me off also, so.
I think a good approach to that would be just to have somebody on the line that could keep an eye on,
Yeah.
you know. We have like the cashiers and one, sometimes we have like 2 or 3 cashiers.
Yeah.
That will see what's going on, but just to keep up on the food service a little bit.
Yeah, thank you very much for your suggestions.
Thank you.
We'll definitely take a look at that.
And that's not picky.
No, it's not at all.
I wouldn't get that.
Yes, sir.
Grilled burritos would fire an excellent thing. That would be fire. I love a good burrito.
Yeah, grilled burrito?
I kind of like, even like before this like Chipotle thing's open, like, I would love a
We'll
grilled
take a shot.
burrito.
Oh, that's fun.
Can we work that out?
Yeah, we can definitely.
All right. You heard it, yeah.
Burritos for all my friends.
Absolutely.
The fresh fruit is awesome. I just wanted to give a compliment because, like, especially from people who have been here a while, that is not something that we've had, like, at all. And yeah, so like having the blackberries and the blueberries and the cut up like pineapple, that's really
Oh, great.
nice.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate that.
Is
So-
there anything else that you'd like to see on that line?
More raspberries.
More
I don't
raspberries?
And blackberries.
Yeah.
Yellow watermelon.
Oh.
Bring back the yellow watermelon.
Yellow watermelon?
Bring back the yellow watermelon.
It tastes just like watermelon. If we can, there was Greek yogurt at one point. Is there any way like something like that can be brought back? Only because I like normal yogurt, but like I know it's also like super sugary, so it's like I don't know.
It's-
I really like.
It's definitely probably doable. And again, it's just another supply and demand thing.
Right, okay.
We have had a very hard time getting just basic supplies in here. That's why we have like ketchup in little bottles right now, not in the dispensers. Like it's just really hard to get basic things.
Ironically, too, with catering, our catering clients prefer vanilla yogurt. So in mind of keeping one yogurt on hand, we thought, okay, well, maybe everyone will want vanilla yogurt.
Doesn't
Not
work.
the case.
Not the
Doesn't work.
That's
I mean,
okay.
it's not bad.
But, you know, I'm glad Cameron mentioned that too, the supply and demand lately in the supply chain. As we've all been hearing on the news, it's getting really tough nowadays. Like, we can't even get the bulk ketchup and mayonnaise and whatnot in the pumps. That's why we have to have those jars out there of ketchup.
We got our turkeys for Thanksgiving by the skin of our teeth.
Right.
Like we barely got those turkeys.
Actually, you know what? I ordered those back in September to make sure we have it. Because everyone was hurting on turkeys. But then I go over to Kroger's and they got a whole thing.
They got, yeah, GFS up in Lexington, they just got them sitting out on the
Yeah.
shelf.
But it is getting a little tough, but we're trying to stay ahead of it. Yeah.
So I remember like earlier this semester and then a couple times after that, like y'all started several types of chili. They were always really, really good. But I don't think we've seen a lot. You know, make that
Okay.
more often.
Now that it's getting cold, we'll definitely probably be introducing more soups and well.
Do we have a turkey chili?
There was turkey chili today.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay. But yeah, no problem. No problem. And Cameron's right too. Now it's getting cold out, we're gonna have more soups and chilies out there. But thank you.
I really like the
Go ahead.
chicken chili.
Chicken?
Yeah.
Okay, you got it.
We've heard that's a fan favorite.
Yeah.
I don't know if this has been said before, but I feel like at breakfast and at brunch, it's like sausage 90% of the time, and very rarely bacon.
Mhm.
And I don't know if there's just a huge cost difference between sausage and bacon.
No.
I don't know.
We are starting Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. We're gonna start throwing bacon out on the line as well. That was something we were getting asked a lot about. It's more or less. It may sound ridiculous, but it's actually a lot of work to like slack out all this bacon, like each individual piece of bacon, you know what I mean, to cook properly. So that kind of comes down to just having the staff to do that. But we are making sure, like I'm starting to get them to do it like the day before, so we have it all slacked out, ready for that morning person. So we are definitely working on that. That is being introduced on the weekends.
Yeah, I didn't know it was fancy, but it was put
Good.
back on.
Good. Thank you. Yes.
Sometimes the bread in the little the bread box thing is just like tremendously stale, like to the point where it's like feels
I've
toasted.
taught that a couple of times in the store.
and I don't really know what to do. I'll be like, I don't know if I would like flag down.
You absolutely do.
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely.
Anybody on that grill station is like, hey, listen, this bread's
Are you
kind of
talking about
almost
over the
croutons.
grill?
Yeah,
At the grill side, yeah. Because it doesn't stay in, where the bagels are now for very long until it gets stale, so.
Last 3 questions. Starting with you.
Yes.
Okay, love the French onion soup, whenever y'all did the line with the French onion soup, delicious. Also, on Thanksgiving, when y'all had that one, it was like the hash brown casserole, like the really.
I will take
cheesy-
props for that, right? I will take props for that one. That was all me.
Can we bring that back as like part of like a rating or like a
No problem.
dish at some point? 'Cause that
It's really
was-
funny because I literally looked up like a makeshift Cracker Barrel recipe for that. and
Yeah,
just-
so
Good.
it was one of my.
I
favorites.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you could see bacon bits as like a salad topping, make a return.
Absolutely, we can do that. Yep.
When did we stop doing
I don't know, that's why I said absolutely.
We shouldn't have stopped doing that, so we'll make sure that's getting back out there for you.
And also honey mustard and tortilla strips possible?
The what?
Honey mustard, salad dressing, and also tortilla strips.
Like fried tortillas?
Yes.
Yeah.
Your salad bar is like, though, it's so much better than it was last year.
Oh, great, thank you.
I was just gonna say, I like all the cereal options, and I like how every now and then there's like new ones. Because sometimes you just want a bowl of cereal, you know, and there's a ton to choose from, so I like the rotation too. I think
Oh, good.
that's something that can keep going well.
Personal request. Could you have Applejack?
Applejack.
I love
Of course,
Applejack.
that's my favorite. We can get Applejack.
The corn pops, I haven't had those since I was a kid. That made me so happy. I had like 4 bowls the other day, okay? That was great.
Is that the one with
Sugar pop.
Oh,
Honey smacks. Honey smacks. Have you guys had honey smacks? The honey smacks cereal,
Honey
the
smacks?
raw, those, that's a suggestion, those are my favorite.
Honey smacks, you got it.
Okay, yeah,
This is the last comment.
the gumbo that you cooked on November 3rd, whoever cooked that one, that was good.
the gumbo?
On November 3rd,
That was another one of our sous chefs actually.
good. But all other times, my critiques aren't as good as the one as good. So,
Your what?
my critiques wasn't as good as the one on November.
Just like less flavorful or?
Less flavorful, more greasy.
Wait, what are you
things
talking
like that.
Oh, you like it more greasy?
No.
No, less greasy. So, let me ask you this question. Which specific time, do you remember where you got it from?
Yeah, it was, the day we had Billy Bridges Day, she was standing.
The gumbo on the chef's table. I think that's what I
Chef's
thought.
table.
Okay. That was
You like that one?
I like them. I even made a review for you and I posted it. Tagged
Did you?
so.
I saw it. I'll leave it.
That was.
All right, well, thank you
All
all
right.
so
Well,
much.
listen, thank you. Real pleasure. Thank you again.
Feel free to get some quick seconds and then we'll transition.
Thanks again, guys.
Thank you.
Guys, have a great night.
We'll resume back in about 2 minutes. So that second
Dido, why does no one know this?
What made you like?
Because I think that song's very popular. Because people listen to this. White Flag by Dido. It's not the right word, man. No.
Break up. You're welcome.
I really just need to sit.
I mean, I ate so much food.
I think like my whole so fast.
Good for you, man. You haven't been eating everything. Maybe you just need to be on Thanksgiving.
And just like Thanksgiving.
You know what I really want? Yeah, I really want. Have you ever had an oyster bowl?
Right. Of course.
You don't do that.
I'm not my mother. I have
The original focus. I don't even really eat it. It's just like a hot dog. It's just a big some hot dog.
fried oyster balls, lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise. They also have
It's a sub. It's a sub.
I will say, I have to be like a I
Really don't want
I don't like lobsters.
What?
I don't really like lobsters. What are you saying? No, I like shrimp. Like okay, shrimp was like a $70 like all-you-can-eat buffet at like a Calabash restaurant, and like I just ate a lot. And I like shrimp grits. I like something. I don't like
Okay, everyone. We just have one item tonight to get through, and then we're going to do some quick executive reports, and then we will go so we can be free for the rest of the week. Okay, so if you all had a chance to look at your email today from Mia, U of L's SGA set class and various other SGAs around the state a bill that they had proposed and passed, and they're just looking for support or rejection from other SGAs so that they can advance it, send it to a field office. It is about felon resolution. What they call it is restoring voting rights for those who have been incarcerated for decades. So I will pull the language up. Do you all need me to, or did you want me to?
We read this. You were supposed to read it. I asked y'all to.
I read it.
You read it.
I hope so.
So it says a resolution condemning felon disenfranchisement in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, whereas the University of Louisville is a major educational institution in Kentucky, whose students and faculty have a duty to follow justice on their campus in Louisville and across the state, whereas the Student Senate represents the student body of the University of Louisville, whereas Kentucky is one of only 2 states that permanently bans formerly incarcerated individuals convicted of felonies from voting after they are freed from prison, whereas the penalties for committing what lawmakers decide are crimes should be limited to inside the walls of jails and prisons. They should not continue upon reentry into society. Whereas the denial of civil rights to a certain group of undesirables, especially in the fundamental right to vote, has a storied history in the United States and has never benefited our society or the function of democracy within it. Whereas the effects of this undemocratic policy are clear. Almost 10% of otherwise eligible adults cannot vote in Kentucky. Whereas 15% of Black Kentuckians are denied the right to vote. These people are taxed without representation, policed without political presence, and forced to follow laws they had no voice in creating. Whereas 67% of Kentuckians support the automatic restoration of voting rights upon completion of present sentences. Among younger Kentuckians aged 18 to 34, 84% support restoration. Whereas student activists and organizations at our university are collaborating to end felon disenfranchisement, and the Student Senate has an opportunity to support and spread support for that effort. Therefore, be it resolved, the Student Senate condemns felon disenfranchisement in Kentucky and calls for its permanent abolition. We urge the Kentucky State Legislature to propose an amendment to the Kentucky Constitution, providing for the immediate restoration of the right to vote to people free from jail and prison. Let the people of Kentucky decide the issue of felon disenfranchisement. Therefore, be it resolved, the Director of Government Relations, which is at the University of Louisville, is directed pursuant of Section 4.9.8 SGA Constitution to deliver a copy of this resolution to the student government. The following major educational institutions in Kentucky asking for a vote of support or rejection in this list. Therefore, be it resolved, after each of the aforementioned student governments and any others interested vote to support, reject, or abstain from this resolution, the Director of Government Relations is directed by that section to deliver a copy of this resolution and any documents that show for it from collaborating student governments to the following state government entities: Office of the Governor of Kentucky, Office of the Secretary of State, members of the Kentucky State Senate, members of the Kentucky House of Representatives. What follows is just a signing statement, which basically just explains why they sent it out. That's not what we're voting on, but it's there. You have already looked at it.
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and move it to discussion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. I can have discussion, let's say, for 5 minutes. Sure. How's that? Yes. Can you have it? So we can go ahead and move it into discussion. Folks can comment like how we usually do. So,
As someone who's had a family member have their ability to vote taken away for like a pretty heavy charge, I think this is a good idea. Because a lot of the time people get their voting rights taken away for things that are like not major, and then they can't vote for like a decade.
so you're in favor of supporting?
Yes.
Okay. Anyone else have comments? We have 4 minutes to end.
Discussion or move to a vote?
Well, is there anyone else that has comments?
I will say, for those who also are unaware, last year Senate College did a convocation about restoring voters' rights to felons. That was somewhat in co-partnership with the Office of Civic Engagement. It had a very great turnout. A lot of students were in support of it. So take it, run with it however you like. But yeah, just reaching back into like previous events that's happened on campus, I will tell you other students have been in support for it.
Motion to end discussion and move to a vote.
Second.
You can move to a vote. I'm just going to do by eyes, or no, by raising your hands. So.
All in favor?
All.
No, not actually, sorry. I was doing something else.
Okay. All against? Abstained? Okay. Passes. So we will send that to you about letting them know that we do support it so that we can have this. Thank you all for that. Okay, we're gonna do. Yes. Go ahead.
Before I move to tutor, very quick, exact quote. If you guys know club leaders or if you're in clubs, they all should receive a lot of information about allocation. I'm going to pester them about this and send more stuff about it later so that they do not forget. But if you're in a club, remind your club leaders because we want them to get allocation for next spring. And that is my really main piece of advice. So if you know anyone who didn't get it, send them to me and I'll make sure that they get it. And that is everything I have. Thank you very much. I know if you told me.
Next VP.
Okay. Everybody, please tell your friends and you do it yourself, follow the Center SAC Instagram. And I say that because we had a great turnout at the midnight movies. I have like many friends that are seniors that were like, what's a midnight movie? I'm like, how have you not known? We've done this we do this all the time. So that's how we're gonna get out the most of our information. Instagram stories, posting about it. We will always post about an event that we have. So tell everybody to follow it. It doesn't hurt to follow. You don't have to like if you don't want to, but it gives feedback. And we also have our link tree. We would love feedback. And we do a midnight movie every 3rd Friday of every month. So there will always be a midnight movie. We are also continuing that into center term. If you are here for center term, if you are not studying abroad, and if you are first year, we have an event every single weekend. We are very dedicated to making sure that everybody has something to do on campus as much as we can, and we would love feedback. And our biggest event in the spring, and I'm saying it now, is Bridgerton Ball. So if you all, which we want everybody to come to, we're going to make this a literal soiree. But I say that because if you go home for break, please bring back something to wear. if you would like to take this time to make it, whatever you want to, but I'm telling you now, giving you a heads up, follow the Instagram. The end. Thank you.
Chair, student affairs, cabinet report, director of communications.
So the application for the website went out today. That kind of started, the exec team has went on and decided that we're going to pay up to $1,000, and so how that's going to go, it's going to be $500 initially, and then depending on how we like the website or whatever, because the whole general body will be able to look at the website once it's close enough to being done, and also submit suggestions that they want to see. We're going to give up to additional 500, so that's that. If you also looked at the website recently, all your photos are on there, but that's not going to be there for much longer. It's going to change again. So enjoy while you can and be safe.
Good job, good job.
Campus improvements, cabinet reports, planning services.
So we had our first dinner, so yay, thanks to Amania for getting that together, and I'm looking forward to hopefully a lot more in the spring. And we had like an issue with a lot of cross-contamination, like we were mentioning here, that I actually pointed out earlier. So hopefully there's changes, especially with the on the station, if y'all have seen that, so.
An extra thank you to Lainey for putting this dinner together tonight. So
No, yeah, that's like low on the list.
Friends, this,
But it's been bad.
is that the, yeah. Culture committee, no report, secretary.
Make sure you send a proxy and email me if you're not gonna be here as usual. We were doing good until tonight. A lot of people that I didn't know weren't gonna be here. So make sure you remind your friends to do that. Send in proxies so we can meet quota. Get home safe if you're traveling. I'm not here for center term. Don't miss me too much. But I'll see you in the spring. Grace.
Speak of the house. Me? Okay. Hi. Wait a minute. Did I skip one? No, go ahead.
I'll have more for y'all next week from Student Senate, but basically we are rolling out a proposal you'll have a chance to vote on. We're going to offer $500 for center term and $2,500 for spring term to be given out in the form of vouchers to help students purchase books. So that'd be something that their names would be sent to the bookstore, and they'd be on a list there, and so then they can just go directly to the bookstore and get and redeem that $50. And we're also going to be advocating for some other changes for professors. So I'll work there on it next week. Or a couple weeks.
Thank you so much. I just have a quick couple of things. I'm hoping to be able to send out the materials from the past two safety. Actually, we may have already gotten the past minutes from the safety committee meeting, but they are planning a Title IX conversation and dinner for next week on December 1st. More details will be released. We're still developing some things around that to make sure that folks are getting the correct information while they're there. But keep that on your calendars. Also, and this is going to be an unpopular decision, we had some things come up in the past week that needed voting on, but we just couldn't accomplish it tonight. So we're going to move them into next week and keep next week's general session. I was trying to get rid of that one. But we'll try to keep that general session short, sweet, and get through everything. Just get those things done before the end of the semester. Last thing is also developing from last week. We had conversations with the golf team about a memorial for Coach David Jones. I think most of you remember that he had passed away earlier this semester. But having some sort of memorial for him, and right now we're looking at designs for a bench and where the location of that can be, but more I'm not on that. And the volleyball court renovation. If you all know, like the sand volleyball court over here on Nichols, they're planning to move that. But I'm just trying to keep you all on your toes about all that. That's all I have.
I hope everybody can make it home for Thanksgiving. If you can't, just be aware, and this is new for those of you that are upper class students. Friday and Saturday, Cowan will be open for students that are stuck here, so you're able to eat here in the dining hall. Also, there are several organizations around town that would welcome you for Thanksgiving meals on Thursday if you're here as well. If you don't see the ads or don't see emails about those, feel free to reach out to me and I'll share those with you. And be safe, take care of yourselves as we hit the home stretch here in the last couple of weeks.
Thank you. Motion to adjourn?
Motion.